Hi everyone, welcome to CSX in the Kitchen, a holiday version. We're going to do a side dish. We're going to do a nice little snack, and we'll also do an appetizer, because you know when you're hanging out with your family or your friends, everyone is hungry. They most likely come hungry because they know they're going to eat a lot, especially on Thanksgiving, and a lot of these perfect for Christmas as well. So we're going to start out and we're going to make a spicy nut mixture that we have here. We have pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds. These are all raw, unroasted, unsalted. And we have almonds, we have cashews, and pecans. So this is a nice mix. You can use whatever you want to use, whatever nuts you like. And if you have a nut allergy, I apologize. Stay away. But this is delicious. So you get them all in the bowl, and you'll put in some olive oil or whatever oil you desire. Once again, as with most of the things that we make in the CSX kitchen, you can mix it up. You can do it as to whatever you like. And that's one of the beauties about being in the kitchen. So we've got a nice coating of oil here. And now I have the spices. I have granulated garlic, granulated onion, as well as salt. And we're going to put a little pepper in there. And I have a little bit of cayenne. So we're going to sprinkle that in there. It's about a quarter teaspoon of all of those. Get that nice and mixed up, thoroughly coated, and you want to make sure that those spices get on every last nut. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll put these on a sheet tray. I have my oven at 350 degrees, and we'll disperse these, try to disperse them evenly. Yeah. Get them all dispersed over there. And it usually takes about 10 minutes, but you really want to watch them because the nuts can go from perfect to not edible in just a couple of seconds. So that's something you really want to watch. And that's maybe not so easy when you have so many things going on, but just, take a deep breath and we'll get them in the oven. So beautiful. You just throw these in a couple different bowls and put them out, have them ready for when your family arrives or your guests arrive. And they're gonna love them, trust me. Okay, so for our appetizer, we are going to do one of my favorite things to make, and a favorite of a lot of people, is a bruschetta. And this one in particular, I used baguette, French baguette, cut it in half, and I have a couple more. You guys don't worry, there's plenty for everybody. And we're gonna use a creamy gorgonzola. This is an Amish gorgonzola, which is a very light blue cheese. Blue cheese can be kind of strong, but this is a mild one, and it's very creamy. So we're gonna cover these baguette halves with this gorgonzola. And, don't be shy. Just put it on there. It's gonna melt real nicely on top. And then what are we putting on top of the gorgonzola? Bacon. Yes. It is so delicious. And it's going to add that nice saltiness to an already somewhat salty cheese. But like I said, it's more of a mild blue cheese. If you've never tried it, definitely give it a shot. Sometimes different cheeses are an acquired taste for people. So here we go. Got our bacon. We'll just layer a few pieces on there. I mean, what can go wrong with this? And in the end, if you'd like, when it's all melted and nice and toasted, you can put some honey on it. And we have some good Michigan raised honey, raw organic, that a friend of mine, he has a beehives, several of them. And he was nice enough to give the CSX kitchen some of his honey. So we'll have that available as well. So we have these two lovely baguettes with the gorgonzola and the bacon, and that's going in at 350 as well. And that's also, just keep an eye on it. When you see that it's melted, it's done. It's not real overly scientific. I like to cook dishes on this that are accessible to everyone, because not everyone has a ton of experience in the kitchen, and it shouldn't have to be hard. Simple is best. Now, I offer two different kinds of stuffing, dressing, whatever you call it. I call it stuffing, even though I don't ever stuff the turkey. It's just, I guess, tradition, family tradition. That's what we call it in our family. I've made one mild one, and this is a spicy Mexican chorizo, because we have some people here on the crew that like it really spicy, and some who like it a little more on the mild side. So I like to be accommodating in that. So I've rendered the fat out of that, and then I'll take this slotted spoon and I will scoop the chorizo into the sourdough bread that I've cubed. And I love sourdough bread. You can use any kind of bread you like. If you're not a sourdough fan, just do a white Pullman loaf, or do a French bread, or do rye bread. Really, as always, no rules. Use what you like. And sometimes when I have people over, I'll ask them ahead of time, or is there anything that you absolutely don't like? Because I like to be accommodating to my guests and my friends. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So we're gonna have that chorizo rendered fat in there. And we are going to saute the onions in there, because this is a chorizo, sausage, bacon, onion dressing, stuffing. And it's gonna be amazing. Looking forward to it. Eating this tonight. Okay, so let's get these onions in that chorizo oil. Okay, it's fat. Let's just be real. And we'll saute that for a little while. Not really until opaque, but until it's sauteed a little bit and softened up a little bit. And then we're gonna add that into our sausage bacon stuffing. I was going to make a pumpkin pie or a pecan pie tonight, but I figured I had enough going on here, so we have a pecan pie lover here on the crew, so I brought a lovely pecan pie from the Western Market in Ferndale. They make great pies there, and you can really get great pies at your local store. Although I will say, pecan pie is really easy to make. And I never used to like pecan pie, or I thought I didn't like it. But I tried a piece about 6 months ago, and now, whew, it is good stuff. Okay, so this is sauteing away in that chorizo fat. So you're layering the flavors. Layering the flavors is always a good idea. We're gonna put the herbs in. So the herbs I've chopped up, I have parsley, I have rosemary, and I have thyme. You want more rosemary than the thyme. Thyme is very strong, so I did about a teaspoon of thyme. I did 2 tablespoons of parsley and about a tablespoon of the rosemary. So we'll get that in there. Further adding to the flavors for your rockin' holiday meal. All right. So we've got that in there, and looks like it's nice and soft. So what we'll do is we will take these onions and we'll put them right, so you can see it, into that sourdough bread, the sausage as well. And it'll all start to soak into that bread. That's what you're looking for. So we'll kind of mix that around a little bit. And now to that pan, adding more flavor and more moisture to your stuffing, because you don't want dry stuffing. We'll add about 2.5 cups of chicken stock. You can use broth, but stock has a much more hearty flavor. So we'll put that in there, and it won't take long for that to bubble up. Once it starts bubbling, in fact, we're gonna put in some garlic right now. I didn't want to get the garlic overdone, or, because it can burn. So we'll add that in there, and it will further soften up when it goes in the oven. Okay, so the garlic, the chicken stock, and how about the other gift? Butter. we'll put that right in there as well. And that'll melt nicely, give it a nice sheen, and of course the flavor. And this happens pretty fast. Really, when you have everything all together and ready to go in your containers, that's the secret. You know, have it all ready, and then you just throw it together. It makes everything so much easier when you're cooking a big meal for your family. Okay, so this is starting to bubble a little bit. And like I said, this is where you get your moisture. We'll use 2 lightly beaten eggs at the end, and that will bind it all together. Now, one key to make your holiday easier, as far as cleanup goes, is these little beauties. I've buttered it with just butter, you know, grease it with whatever you want to use, but I use regular butter, whole butter. And we'll put it right in there. And then when everyone's eaten it all, because they're going to eat it all, then you just throw it away. Take it easy on yourself. Okay. And I know a lot of my friends have been saying they've been eating light because they know they're going to gorge throughout the holiday season. That's just part of it. Hey, why not? And then we'll get to see all of those dieting commercials with all of the exercise machines, and everyone will get back to work. Well, I won't, but a lot of people do. First of the year. You know those ads? They kind of drive me nuts. Okay, so we've got a nice bubble on this, and what we'll do is, let me put these right here for now, is we're going to pour that right over the sourdough bread. Yeah. And the sausage and the onions and the herbs, like that. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to add those 2 lightly beaten eggs to the mixture. And we're going to combine it all together, get it nice and mixed in there. And I will not forget the bacon, I promise. That would be so sad. CSX in the Kitchen holiday version, and we're going to be doing some more of these as we head toward Christmas as well. Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. And so we have that nice and mixed in there. And I will crumble some of this bacon in there. So we have a lot here, so I say we use a lot. And I like the combination of the sausage and the bacon, and I like to get it nice and crisp. I put it in the oven at 350 degrees on a sheet tray for about a half hour. And as with everything else, keep an eye on it. Speaking of keeping an eye on it, let me quick rinse here, and let's see what's going on in the oven. Okay. Looks like those nuts, I can hear them popping a little bit. Look at those. I can put them right there. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll let those cool. And then into the bowl they go, and then into our mouths they go. Let's see what's going on with the gorgonzola. Oh yeah, nice and melty. I think we could go a little bit longer on that, so we'll do that. Just don't burn the bread. It's so easy to do. Okay. So this is ready to go into the receptacle. Just pour it on in there. Get it all in there. And it looks good, doesn't it? Get it nice and dispersed around. And I think I'll put a little pepper on top. Because why not? And how about we sprinkle the rest of this on top? Okay, so you'll put this in the oven at 350 degrees, seems like everything that I'm making tonight. Cover it for 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes, take that foil off and let it go for 10 more minutes. And I'm going to show you what that looks like when it's done. This is the mild that I made. and it's nice and brown and crusty, and it's going to be delicious. So you have your snack, you have your side, you have your appetizer, and you are well on your way to a beautiful holiday dinner. I hope you enjoyed all of these tips. CSX in the kitchen. We'll see you next time.